Welcome into Drew's Daily Diamond for Monday, December 2nd, 2024. I am Drew Martin breaking down this slate of games. Championship week is upon us, guys. Getting a late go of it, so it's Monday afternoon here, but I did break down each and every conference championship game, college football, Friday and Saturday. We got 3 on Friday, bunch on Saturday to get into. So let me know in the comments below where you agree, where you disagree. All is welcome. Your picks for this weekend, both college football, the NFL. We got college basketball shows starting tomorrow. So a lot on the dock here for Drew's Daily Diamond. But we'll start off top of the card here. Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, Michie Stadium, West Point, New York. Yes, it's Army hosting Tulane for the AAC championship game. Tulane opened -4.5. They're now -5 in the hook as the road favorite, 46.5 or 47 being the total. So Friday night lights getting us started here. Tulane comes in 9-3 on the season. Army 10-1. Their only loss 49-14 to Notre Dame. That was at Yankee Stadium a couple weeks ago. They also, interesting note here with these championship games, this is the first time that I can remember this. Army is going to play Navy next week, but yet they're playing in the championship game. Just kind of an interesting schedule quirk for this first game. Tulane, interesting handicap themselves. They lost to Oklahoma, Kansas, and Kansas State, then ran the table through the AAC, and then lost to Memphis just last week. So in a game, it was nationally televised. It was singled out Thanksgiving night, actually, on ESPN, and they didn't look too good. I mean, maybe, already in the AAC championship game. I'm not really sure what was up, but Tulane, that was the worst I've seen the Green Wave play all season long. And it was surprising because their head coach, Summerall, he's working on his third straight 10-win season. He's a really good coach. This is a good coach Tulane team. I wouldn't be surprised if Tulane takes some more money. They opened 4. It's 5.5 now. I don't think it will get to a full touchdown. But guys, if you're looking to get on this, I would get on the Green Wave here. I wouldn't be surprised if they win by more than a touchdown. But I think more people are going to come in tune to Army and Navy don't run the same exact offense anymore, but a lot of option principles in there. And Tulane did beat Navy a couple weeks ago, 35-0. I think it's the Green Wave here. I would not be surprised at all to see Tulane money before kickoff. Next one up, we get Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State. Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Network. Conference USA championship game, 57 and a hook being the total. We're seeing the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State. Rich Rod head coached Jacksonville State, -4-point home favorites here. This is also an interesting scheduling quirk because these two teams just played last week, with Jacksonville State actually losing to Western Kentucky 19-17. So that's how the Hilltoppers are here. And the Liberty loss is what got them in. So this was one they weren't even, for sure going to be in this game. Jacksonville State was in that game. That's why we just saw Jacksonville State lose and now open as the favorite because they were already in this game. It opened 2. Now it's up to 4. So people kind of jumping on that angle. They have lost 3 of their last 4 against the spread. Unfortunately, I've been on a couple of those. Western Kentucky at the same time, they're not playing their best football either. They lost 2 of their last 3. This is a tough one. Both teams kind of playing their better football in the middle part of the season and then lagged off. But it is the championship game. Who wins this one? I actually think Western Kentucky's got more talent top to bottom of the roster. I don't know if we see any more Jacksonville State money. It's a tough one to call. Maybe we do. This could get to 4.5, 5. So some projected Jax State money, maybe just a little bit. I'm not too confident in that one, though. We got next one up Friday night, the last Friday night game. And this is 8 p.m. Eastern from Boise, Idaho. It's the Mountain West Championship game. This one on Fox, 58.5 being the total. Boise, -4-point home favorites. They were 5.5, so we're starting to see some UNLV money, and I would not be surprised if we see some more. Now, granted, this is the second time these two teams are playing this season. The first one was in Las Vegas, and it was Boise winning that 29-24. It was a close game, though, and this is a Boise State team. Their only loss, if they win this game, they're most likely in the college football playoff. Now, it's interesting because if UNLV wins this game, does do the Running Rebels get into the college football playoff? That will be something to watch. This game, though, the script is flipped. This is in Boise, Albertson Stadium on the blue turf. I actually go back to, guys, this UNLV team, they can be got defensively on the pass, but they're pretty good against the rush. And we saw it in that first game against Boise State. It's not like they blanked them by any means. I mean, they gave up 29 points. But I think that's what the market is coming in tune to here is UNLV has been a great bet, sitting at 10-2. And I think people are starting to take notice of that matchup handicap and UNLV being good defensively against the run. And obviously Boise State with Genty at the running back position, that's what they look to do. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some more UNLV money here. College football opening line report, Drew's Daily Diamond. This is Championship Week edition as we turn the script here. Saturday, 12 noon Eastern, ABC, the Big 12 championship game. AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. This is a fun conference, man. The Big 12 has been fun all season long, and it looks like Iowa State and Arizona State squaring off for likely the Big 12 Conference's only college football bid here, going to the winner. Arizona State -2.5. They opened -1, so they've taken about 1.5 points of money, 50.5 being the total. Cyclones and Sun Devils both come in 10-2. But really the story here and part of the line movement is Arizona State. Man, they have been money against the spread. One of the most profitable teams in college football. They've covered 5 straight. They're 10-2 straight up and ATS. These two teams did not play during the season. Iowa State, they win the tiebreaker. I don't know exactly how it went, but 4 teams tied atop the Big 12 standings. And this Iowa State team only had 2 losses, both single digits this season, back-to-back games. They started to play better football at the end. Arizona State already went over their against the spread record. Their running back, Scadaboo, who's a fun guy to watch. Arizona State, I think this kicks off -2.5, but it could get to -3 here, guys. If you like the Sun Devils, I would bet on Arizona State and that spread record. Next one up, also 12 noon Eastern, the MAC championship game. This one on ESPN. Ohio and Miami of Ohio coming to us from the Motor City Ford Field, where the Detroit Lions play their home games. 44.5 being the total. Miami -2 and a hook. They were -2, so they've taken about 0.5 point here since the open. Miami comes in 8-4 on the season. Ohio comes in 9-3. They've won and covered 5 straight. This Ohio Bobcats team, if you've been watching the show, this is a team that we've been betting on a bunch with success. I'm not looking to step in front of them personally. Since a 10-point loss at Miami of Ohio, these two teams did play in the middle of the season. Miami of Ohio, I believe, won 30-20. So this is a rematch here. But Ohio's playing a lot better football. And I've talked about it before. Their quarterback, Peter Navarro, he's a pretty good player. He's a good athlete back there. And he started to play his best football. So I'm actually surprised at this move from 2 to 2.5, because I thought maybe the market would be looking to be betting on Ohio. However, Miami of Ohio, they've won 7 straight. However, they did not cover 2 of their last 3. They were bigger numbers. Both teams 7-1 in the conference. I can't wait to watch this, but Miami of Ohio, the defending MAC champions, I don't think they get it done, guys. I think Ohio is the bet in this one. In terms of projecting the line, I actually wouldn't be surprised if it closed 2.5. I doubt it gets to 3. 2 really good coaches. Tim Alvin going for Ohio. The way that he's been able to reload has been impressive to watch with this Bobcats team. And Chuck Martin, Miami of Ohio, he's been doing it for multiple seasons now. I like actually Ohio in the rematch. We get next one up, talking the SEC championship game. Georgia and Texas, 4 p.m. Saturday on ABC. 49 being the total. -2 and a hook. That's the Longhorns as the home favorite. They come in 11-1. Their only loss to Georgia, if you remember, a little earlier in the season. And the Bulldogs come in 10-2 straight up, but just 3-9 against the spread. You normally don't see that in college football. A 10-win team, but just 3-9 against the spread. Georgia did go into Austin and win 30-15. Their defensive line looked really strong in that one. That was back October 19th. I actually think that's something that's like repeatable here, guys. I mean, I know it's tough to beat a team twice in one season, but I think the Georgia side, you know, you could go from last season in terms of being one of the more talented teams. I think they're one of the more talented teams this time around. I think the market discounting them because of that game against Georgia Tech, multiple overtimes back and forth. But Georgia Tech kind of matched up well with them in the trenches. That was one of the Saturday plays on the show. Georgia Tech plus 19, but we're going to flip it here. I actually think the Bulldogs take a little bit money. I doubt this gets to 3. So if you like Georgia, I would take the 2.5, maybe even a little bit of money line play on the Bulldogs. We got the night games up next on Saturday. Drew's Daily Diamond College football opening line report. Saturday, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN, the Sun Belt Championship game. It's Marshall, the Thundering Herd, and the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. Thundering Herd and Ragin' Cajuns, two of my favorite kind of team names here. 57 being the total. Louisiana -5 in the hook, depending where we're shopping, as the home favorite. 10-2 versus 9-3 for Marshall. I say the home favorite because this is at the home stadium of Louisiana, Cajun Field. Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana. It does look like mid-60s, partly cloudy projected, but we're still 5 or 6 days away from this. I like this Louisiana team, guys. I know Marshall, you know, winning a bunch of games against some good teams in the Sun Belt to get here. They actually won and covered 4 straight. That was against JMU, Old Dominion, and Coastal Carolina, 3 teams at the top, near the top of the standings in the Sun Belt. So impressive there. They also scored 30-plus points in 4 straight games. So the offense finding rhythm here for Marshall. That's actually where I'm going with this line projection, guys, because Louisiana, they've won and covered 5 of the last 6. So sidewise, I think it's tough. I could see this going off in the 5.5 range. I doubt it gets to 6.5 or 7. And at the same time, I doubt it gets below 4. But the total, because Louisiana scored 88 points their last 2 games, this offense has been good really all season. And Marshall found it offensively, 30-plus in 4 straight. We get a sub-60 total here. The weather looks pretty good. I'd go over 57. If you like the over in this, I'd get on it sooner than later. I think we get over money in the Sun Belt Championship game. Got 2 left here, guys. Smash that like button, comment below. Let me know if you agree. If you disagree, all is welcome. We got the college basketball show starting for Drew's Daily Diamond tomorrow on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. All right, Big Ten championship game up next. Penn State and Oregon, the Nittany Lions and the Ducks. Oregon -3 and a hook as the quote-unquote home favorite, 49 being the total. Say quote-unquote because this is actually Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, Indiana, Big Ten championship location. 11-1 for Penn State, 12-0 for Oregon. Both teams, however, just 6-6 against the spread. Oregon, people kind of coming at their schedule a little bit. I mean, they're 12-0. It's impressive. It's been an impressive season for Oregon. They did beat 2 likely playoff teams, Ohio State by 1 point. You might remember that game. And Boise State, week 2. Boise, if they win, they'll be in the playoffs as well. Do note the Ducks lost in the Pac-12 championship game last season to Washington. They were 9.5-point favorites in that game. So that's likely in their minds a little bit. And then Washington obviously making the college football playoff, winning a game as well. Penn State, you know, they're a team with James Franklin. I think he gets a little bit too much hate, but he's also the type of coach. We just saw it in the last game against Maryland. I don't know if you guys saw the handshake between the Maryland head coach and James Franklin, but I don't think they liked each other very much. And it's because Penn State scored, there at the end. And they're kind of the profile I want to look to bet, laying a number where they're going up against kind of inferior opponents. Oregon doesn't fit that bill. I kind of like Oregon here, but 3.5, this is a tough number. Controlled climate, fast track. I could see more points. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets into the 50s. Sidewise, I think it's tough, guys. But if you like the over, I'd get on it sooner than later at the 49. All right, 1 game left, guys. It's the ACC championship game. One of the more surprising kind of matchups, probably if you went from the preseason. 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Clemson and SMU, the Mustangs, hosting the Tigers. I say hosting, it's Bank of America Stadium, Charlotte, North Carolina, neutral site game. SMU -2.5 as the favorite early on Monday afternoon, 56 being the total. Clemson comes in 9-3 on the season, SMU 11-1. Now, this is a flip favorite. The only one that we're talking here, Clemson actually opened -3. We've almost seen a full 6-point move here, through the zero, flip favorite, SMU -2.5. Clemson's coming in, man. They really just kind of got in by default with that Miami loss to Syracuse, because they actually lost to South Carolina last week by a field goal, and they're just 1-4 their last 5 against the spread. This is a team that was favored in 11 straight games, coming in 9-3. They lost week 1. That was the only time they were a dog. They lost to Georgia 34-3, by the way, non-competitive there. This is kind of the weaker profile, weaker schedule for Clemson coming in, at least in my opinion. SMU, they lost 18-15, their only blemish on the season, to BYU. Kind of a surprising one there. It was back in week 3, but they've won 9 straight since. They've covered in 7 of those games. Rhett Lashley's got the offense playing really well. I mean, we've already seen a lot of SMU money. I don't think we're going to get a kickback of any sort. So if you like SMU, I would go -2.5 here, guys. I think it closes 2.5, but it might get to 3. So if you like this one and you like SMU, I would get on it sooner than later on the Mustang. So, guys, that's all the championship games. What is it? I don't know. A lot on Saturday, 3 on Friday here, guys. So just went through all the games, getting out some information, some early week information for you guys. So, again, if you could comment below, it helps grow the show. Helps out the algorithm. Smash that like button, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Monday or Tuesday whenever you're watching this, and cash those tickets. We'll be back on Tuesday for the college basketball, the first one of the season. So thanks for tuning in. Drew Martin checking out.